If you stick around to watch this video, you'll learn why a steel is actually a great tool for maintaining chef-style knives, how they work, and most importantly, how you can use one to get a good edge. You'll be amazed at how sharp of an edge you can get off a steel like this. Todd over at Science of Sharp has a great article on steeling, but because it hasn't been spoon-fed to YouTube creators in video format, they haven't been able to content farm it, which is why you've likely only seen negative videos on them until now. This is a simple steel, relatively soft kitchen utility knife which I'm going to be using for the testing. Rather than dulling it by applying extreme lateral load to the edge, I'm going to dull it in a way which is more representative of kitchen use. An incorrect and common misconception is that these ridged honing steels are non-abrasive, and therefore can only stand up or align a burr or a rolled apex. These ridged steels can actually easily abrade the edge and work excellently for adding a micro bevel. My technique has been to apply medium to heavy pressure on alternating edge-leading passes. Because the ridges are large and dull, they need high pressure in order to cut into the knife steel. I can actually feel the steel digging into the knife and abrading the edge. I then follow this up with much lighter alternating passes. After the micro bevel has been formed, I'm just trying to make sure the apex is fairly consistent, so I don't want to deform it to one side with too much pressure. Some people like to refer to this as the lottery method, because I'm basically guessing how much work is required, rather than inspecting the edge during the sharpening process. But this is based off some experience in previous testing, so I'm assuming it's going to go quite well, as it has in the past. Keep in mind, I'm not saying that this is the best way to use a steel, it's simply a way which I have found to be very effective and very easy to learn. It enables it to actually work, unlike some of the other videos you may have seen with people failing to use one at all. I will now run this edge through some wood just to prove that there's no thin foil burr standing up providing the sharpness. As I said before, people like to say that, a steel is going to just stand up a burr, so this will either tear the burr off if there is one or roll it over. I'll take a quick best score too while I'm here. On screen you can see the best reference numbers. Here are some shots of the steeled edge underneath the microscope. You can see the micro bevel here quite easily, and although the apex is fairly ugly compared to a sharpening stone, it's more than good enough, as you saw, in order to maintain a chef knife during a shift of work. So why would you want to use a steel rather than a sharpening stone or a ceramic rod? I can only think of one instance really, and that would be in a commercial kitchen. I've spoken to 2 chefs that I know, and they've basically said the same thing to me, which is that ceramics are too fragile. It's not uncommon for them to be treated quite roughly in that high-pace environment. They can accidentally get knocked off work surfaces or dropped and then they crack. And in comparison, the steels are super cheap, super durable, easy to clean, easy to store. And again, on the other side of the spectrum, you've got sharpening stones. If you use ceramics, whetstones, traditional water stones, again, they crack easily. So then you have the option of like electroplated, which are much more durable, but then you're going to want to keep them clean and free of swarf, which is going to mean, using most likely water. Otherwise, you're going to want to use a plant-based oil on them. And if you use water, even though they're electroplated with nickel, which is corrosion resistant, they will rust unless you keep them dry. And then you need a stone holder so that you can get knuckle clearance underneath the knife handle. And it's just not worth it for a commercial kitchen during a shift when you can just easily micro bevel on a steel like this. Now we've got some video evidence of steels actually working, it's likely we'll see a popular YouTuber come and steal this content and farm it out for more views, so hopefully we'll get some good information being spread for once. Thanks for sticking around this late into the video. Hopefully you found it useful or entertaining or both. If you want to support me, then go to one of the retailers in the description and buy a bottle of the best stropping compound available. Hopefully see you in the next video.